Hello children, welcome to this English teleteaching program. In the previous class, we discussed Auxiliaries part 1 and we started the session also with a very interesting story. Time is very precious for us, value of time. Today now, my dear children, I hope you are very happy today to listen to me. And now look at the screen. There are two pictures. You guess and look at the title. We'll start the grammar session, Auxiliaries part 2, with again another story, Milkmaid and her dream. So you can guess the content, the topic or the subject matter of the story from these two pictures. A milkmaid is carrying milk on his head and going, and another photo gives us the idea the milkmaid is very sad, putting his hand on her forehead and looking at the milk on the ground. So before going to the story, let's have a recap for 1 or 2 minutes what we have discussed in our previous session regarding auxiliaries, primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. So then we will read the story. Now you see recapitulation of the previous session. It will help you to remind of our discussion and you can remember all these things. We have discussed verbs. Verbs can be categorized under two heads, auxiliary verbs and main verbs. And as we have discussed, auxiliaries are helping verbs. They come with the main verbs. But when auxiliary verbs, the primary auxiliary verbs, they are used as a single verb in the sentence, they function like main verbs. And auxiliaries are of two categories, primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. Right. And we also discussed modals. They can also be divided. They can also be categorized under two heads, paired form, single form. And under paired form, we have shall, should, will, would, may, might, can, could, these auxiliary verbs, 4 modal verbs and they have 4 past forms. So 8 modal forms. Then come to the single form modal verbs. Pure, must, ought to, these are pure modal form, pure single form modal verbs, and need, dare, used to these 3 verbs. They are semi-modals, they are called single form semi-modals. Means they can be used both as auxiliary verbs, modal auxiliaries, and they can also be used as main verbs. Right. So we have already discussed all these things, and we also discussed in the second session how to identify the auxiliary verbs, primary auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs, and also we have already discussed use of primary auxiliaries like be, do and have verbs. We have also very clearly discussed use of modal auxiliaries and their features. And today we will discuss some important modals and their uses. But before that, I would like to request all of you to be very careful to listen to the story, and the story gives another piece of advice. We should be very sincere, we should not be careless. So to be careful, the story teaches a lot. Let's go to the story. You just listen to me, you very carefully listen to me. I am going to tell you the story. Right? The topic of the story, the name of the topic or the name of the title is Milkmaid and Her Dream. A milkmaid was going on her way to deliver milk to her customers. So every day, a milkmaid went to her customers, a lady. She was carrying a pail of milk, a pot of milk on her head. And while she was going, she said to herself, Nijuku nije kahila, oh, I shall sell this milk and buy eggs. With the money, The eggs will give me a fine lot of hens, and I shall sell the hens and buy a silk dress. I shall wear the dress and look very, very beautiful. And she thought, many handsome young men will come to me and ask for my hand in marriage, but I shall toss my head and say no, no, no. Bile बढ़िया मजा कथा से लेडी से मिल्कमेट कहला बढ़िया मु अंडा किणीमी अंडारू कुकुड़ा हेबे पुणी अंडा हेबे पुणी अंडा किणी अंडा बिकिबी पुणी पैसा हे पैसा हेले मु सिल्क ड्रेस किणीमी ताक पिंधिबी मते सबू सुंदर सुंदर लोक मैंने सब बाहा कहे मुझे मुंड हल कि ना करी आज सी सेड दिस सी एक्चुअली टस्ट हर हैंड द पेल ऑफ मिल्क फेल डाउन फ्रॉम हर हेड एंड ऑल द मिल्क स्प्लिट आउट ऑन द ग्राउंड. So my dear students, you listen to the story and I hope you understood it. Let's see the story and get some grammar items in this story. Right? I'm just going to read out. You listen to me and you look at the story. Milkmaid and her dream. A milkmaid was going on her way to deliver milk to her customers. She was carrying a pail of milk on her head. She said to herself, I shall sell this milk and buy eggs with the money. The eggs will give me a fine lot of hens. I shall sell the hens and buy a silk dress. I shall wear the dress and look very, very beautiful. Many handsome young men will come to me and ask for my hand in marriage, but I shall toss my head and say, no, no. As she said this, she actually tossed her hand. The pail of milk fell down from her head and all the milk split out on the ground. So dear students, now again you understand the story. The story teaches us we should be very careful. We should not only go for dreams. We should try to fulfill our dreams. So have dreams, see dreams and run after the dreams to achieve your goal. Right? This should be our aim. But before that, you look at the red colored words and phrases. I shall sell this milk and buy. I shall sell the hens and buy. Intention. The wish of the lady, the milkmaid. The eggs will give me a fine lot of hens. Prediction. Possibility. Se आशा करुच्ची मु क्षीर बिकिकी अंडा किणीमी अंडारू कुकुड़ा हेबे. Right? So I shall sell this milk. Intention. The eggs will give me fine lot of hens. This is prediction or possibility. I shall sell the hens and buy a silk dress. Again intention. I shall wear the dress. Again intention. Wish of the lady. इच्छा करुच्ची से. Many handsome young men will come. Prediction करुच्ची. I shall toss my head and ये मध्य आशा करुच्ची जे मु मुंड हलैकी ना कहिबी. So all these phrases, these sentences in red color with shall, they are sentences with modal auxiliaries. Means the modal auxiliaries, they indicate, they talk about the mood or the wish, the intention, the possibility that will take place in future by the speaker. Right? So my dear children, in all the sentences we find here shall and will. So let us discuss how we can use the modals shall and will perfectly, appropriately, accurately in our sentences. Right? Auxiliaries shall and will. So in this slide we will focus on the use of shall, the modal auxiliary. The modal shall is used with I or we to express plain future, permission, promise, order, offer, etc. So when the speaker talks about plain future, he wants permission, he wants to promise, he wants to give order, he asks somebody to get something, in that case we can use shall. But when shall takes a subject other than I and we, ପିଲାମାନେ I we କି ଛାଡ଼ିଦେଲେ shall ଯେତେବେଳେ ବ୍ୟବହାର କରାଯିବ ସେଠି ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ threat କାହାକୁ କରିବା ବା compulsion ବାଧ୍ୟ କରିବା ବା ତାକୁ ମନା କରିବା ସେଇ ଅର୍ଥରେ ଆମେ ବ୍ୟବହାର କରିପାରିବା. Let's go to the example so that you can understand this. Number 1, we shall be back in an hour's time. This is plain future. आमे घंटे भितर फेरी आसीबा. Plain future. The speaker talks about only one difference between the modal auxiliaries and other verbs. Modal auxiliaries are not facts, mind it. सत्य घटना नुहे. सेगुड़िक गोटे संभावना हो पारे, गोटे ऑर्डर हो पारे, किंतु मु जदि कहिबी इट मस्ट बी ए 4, तेंदुलकर हिट्स द बॉल, इट मस्ट बी ए 6, बट इट इज ए 6. डिफरेंस अच्छी. कौन डिफरेंस? इट मस्ट बी ए 6 माने 6 हेनी हवा भाया अवस्था अच्छी. जे कमेंटेटर देखु से भावुची ऊपर को जाइए पाखापाखि हो निश्चय 6 हम, तेणु से लगाऊँ मस्ट. किंतु जदि से कहूँ इट इज ए 6 माने ऑलरेडी हो सारा. सो इज लगे फैक्ट को कहूँ, किंतु प्रेडिक्शन जो कहूँ मस्ट बा विल बा सार लगुच से गोटे फैक्ट नुहे, नॉन फैक्ट, सत्य घटना नुहे. तेणु आम जिते मोडाल ऑक्सिलरी लगेगा ताहा एक सत्य घटना केबे नुहे. दैट इज नॉट ए फैक्ट, दैट इज ए नॉन फैक्ट. राइट. सो वी शैल बी बैक इन एन आवर्स टाइम. पॉसिबिलिटी. प्लेन फ्यूचर. शैल आई गो होम नाउ? सर शैल आई गो होम नाउ? परमिशन. सर जीवी कि टिके. आई शैल टेक यू आउट ऑन मंडे. इंटेंशन. मु चाहूँ तुमको बाहर को नहीं जावाक सोमवार. यू शैल नॉट यूज माई बाइसाइकल अगेन. नाउ यू सी शैल हियर शैल इज यूज विथ यू. तुमको कही आई आउ वी छाड़देले आउ जोठी बसब सी कंपल्सन बा थ्रेट हम, सी ताको थ्रेट करुचे. यू शैल नॉट यूज माई बाइसाइकल अगेन. आउ जमा मो बाइसाइकल तू व्यवहार कर परिबने. राइट. यू शैल राइट दिस आंसर बिफोर यू गो. कंपल्सन. तुम्हें जीवा पूर्वर यहाँ लिखा पड़ो. सो यू पाखे ये साल लगुच जितेबाला से आइदर कंपल्सन और थ्रेट जिते आम चाहूचे से व्यवहार करुचे. सो दिस इज साल एंड विल. राइट. नाउ यू कम टू विल. इन द नेगेटिव सेंटेंस साल नॉट यूजुअली स्पोकन एज साल नॉट. राइट. इट इज यूजुअली स्पोकन साल नॉट साल नॉट. Right. The modal will is usually used to express the meaning of plain future, willingness, request, prediction like shall. Will टा मध्य shall भलिया सिमती plain future, willingness, request, prediction, possibility याकू व्यवहार करिवा पाई बा ता विषय कहिवा पाई व्यवहार करा जाय. फॉर एग्जांपल देखो, Buckle will be 14 next week. He will come in time. Plain future. आरो सप्ताह रे ताकू 14 वर्ष हबो. He will come in time. Buckle will be 14 next week. Will you do? He will come in time. Will. Plain future. Will you do me a favor? Request. मतरी साहाଯ୍य करिवोगी. When will is used in case of the first person I or we, it means a certainty or promise. I पाखरे आ we पाखरे जेतल will बसियो गोटे promise बा certainty. I will help you as far as I can. निश्चय मु समु साहाଯ୍य करबी, जेते संभव मु साहाଯ୍य करबी. In the negative sentence, will not is usually spoken as won't. Will not कहा जाउनी, साधारणतः won't, shall not modal auxiliary रे व्यवहार करा जाए. शॉर्ट फॉर्म रे, कंडेंस्ड फॉर्म रे हमें व्यवहार करू. So my dear children, I think you now know how to use shall and will in the sentences. So dear children, now look at activity 2. Activity 2 will do this and you can understand better. Fill in the blanks with shall or will, all shall not or won't. The instruction is, Bakul wants to go to Nandankanan. He wants to persuade his father to take him there during the summer vacation. ताले instruction टा पिले कोन? बकुल से नंदनकानन को जीवा को चाहूची एवं से बापा को तांको चाहूची तांको परसुएट करिवो केमती प्रवर्तैबो जे समर भैकेशन ने केमती जीवे. तांको भितर गोटे डायलॉग हिची कथावार्ता हिची. लेट्स लिसन टू दिस फर्स्ट. बकुल, डैडी, डैश वी गो टू नंदनकानन ड्यूरिंग द समर वैकेशन? फादर, इट इज ए गुड आइडिया, but I think it dash be better if we go there in winter. Bakul, but in winter the place gets crowded. We dash have to queue for hours to go on the boat ride. Dash get time to see everything. Father, yes, but the weather dash be so good in summer. The animals dash stay in their caves all the time. Bakul, so what dash we do? Dash we go there in December? Father, no, let's go there during the puja vacation. It does be so crowded then. I'm sure the weather does be better. So, my dear children, this is a conversation between Bakul and his father. Bakul wants to go to Nandankanan. He wants to motivate his father, and let's go to the answer so that we can easily understand the use of modal auxiliary verbs. Right? You just see the answers. Bakul, Daddy, shall we go to Nandankanan during the summer vacation? One type of request, right? Or suggestion. This is one type of suggestion. Shall we go to the Nandankanan during the summer vacation? Father, it is a good idea, but I think it will be better if we go there in winter. So, it will be better. It will. I shall. Right? Then, but in winter, the place gets crowded. We will have to queue for hours to go on the boat ride. Bakul says, we will have to queue. We have to stand in the queue for hours. We won't get time to see everything. Right? Then father said, yes, but the weather won't be so good in summer. So you just see, father said, सी कहूँ प्रवर्तिया से कहूँ से आमको बेसी समय ठिया होगा पड़ो आम बेसी देखिपारानी से प्रेडिक्ट करुच्ची वी वोंट गेट टाइम राइट बट फादर सेट the weather won't be so good. That means this is also one type of prediction about future time, right? The animals will stay. This is another prediction. The animals will stay in their caves all the time. Bakul. So what shall we do? We shall do. You see, what shall we do? Then he wants again another suggestion. Shall we go there in December? Father, no, let's go there during the puja vacation. It will be so crowded then, I'm sure the weather will be better, right? So, it will be, the weather will be very better, right? So, let's go to the next items, the use of should and ought to. So, my dear children, we discussed the use of shall and will, and we did the activity number 2. Let's discuss this, the use of should and ought to, then we will go for another activity. The modal auxiliary should is generally used to give advice or to express obligation. Ought to is almost similar to should in the meaning and is used in its place. But an ought to is a stronger expression and it is used when there is a moral obligation or when the obligation comes from outside. Should jaha ought to say kintu ought to ta hochi should to ahuri strong. Mu jeti kahibi you ought to respect your teachers, you ought to obey your parents, stronger than should. The meaning is same but stronger than should, and generally it comes up from outside. Mu jemti kahuchi tumaku kahuchi tummanku je you ought to respect your teachers, you ought to obey your parents, right? You ought to read your books, like this. So, I ought to get more exercise. I am physically unfit. My doctor advised me to do so. The person himself says. They ought to ban smoking in public places. They ought to, right? That means stronger. You should or ought to wash your hands before you eat. Now you see, would or used to. The modal would is usually used to express request, invitation, probability or past habit. जेतले आमे would व्यवहार करिबा आमे जेतले काहाकू अनुरोध करिबा बहु समय रे आमे कहू would you please give a cup of tea, Would you please give your pen? Right. So most of the time we use would in our day-to-day life to express our request, invitation. Would you come to the party? I will be very much happy if you would come, if you would attend my birthday. Right. So probability, past habit. So sometimes we use would or used to for past habit. You see examples. Would you do me a favor? Request. Would you like a cup of tea? Offer. चा कपे पीबे कि? Would you like a cup of tea? Would you have a cup of tea? फिर एगुड़ा सब टिके मन रख आम दैनंदिन व्यवहार रे एगुड़ी को व्यवहार करवा. We always use this type of sentences and this is the real English. I sincerely request all of you, please be careful and read all these things very clearly given in your textbook, and you can use all these things in your day to day life. प्रतिदिन व्यवहार करुवा इंग्राजी तमें व्यवहार करिपारिबो. He would be at home now. Probability, possibility. घरे थिबो से. When I was a child, I would spend hours playing with my toys. When I was a child, I played football. When I was a child, I used to play football. मु पिला बेले फुटबॉल खेलुथिली. मु पिला बेले फुटबॉल खेलुथिली. वुड लगे कि व्यवहार करी हबो, यूज टू लगे कि व्यवहार करी हबो. किंतु गोटे जिनस यूज टू कोट लगेबानी विल सी. राइट. नाउ यू सी the modal used to also expresses a past habit and it does not have an equivalent for the present habit. We cannot use used to with an expression of a definite period of time. जदि गोटे निर्दिष्ट पीरियड दिया जाइछि ताहले आमे यूज टू लगे परिबा नाही. I used to go to school in my village when I was a child, but I cannot say I used to go to school in my village for 5 years. जदि for 5 years कहबा ताहले भूल हे जिवो. गोटे पीरियड ऑफ टाइम पई लगे परिबा नाही. So we should use used to talk about the past habit, right? Not for a definite period of time. But I went to school in my village for 5 years. For 5 years. अच्छी तेणु आमे सेठी यूज टू लगे परिबा नाही. दिस इज रियली very very important for you. Right. So we discussed will, would and used to. Let's do this activity so that we again can understand better. Write the following sentences using I think, I do not think, should and a suitable expression from the box. One has been done for you. गोटे example दिया है. देख ए बॉक्स भीतर अच्छी जो ब्रैकेट भीतर अच्छी से गुड़ी को लगे आम व्यवहार करवा. गोटे एग्जांपल दिया. इट इज लेट, आई थिंक वी शुड गो होम ना. डेरी ही मुझे भावुची बर्तमान घर को आम जा उचित हो. इट इज वेरी लेट, आई डू नॉट थिंक यू शुड गो टू वर्क टुडे. राइट. So your bicycle is very old, he does not look well, she is very intelligent, they need a change, you are not very well, they are too young. There are 6 contexts given here. 6टा प्रसंग दिया जाइछि, सिचुएशन दिया जाइछि. एई सिचुएशन रे आमे केमिति लैंग्वेज व्यवहार करबा आमे देखिबा. देखो पिले मु मार्क आंसर दे देइछि. I have given the numbers. 1, your bicycle is very old, now go to 1. Sell it. So I think you should sell it. Your bicycle is very old, I think you should sell it. Your bicycle is very old, I think you should not use it. Your bicycle is very old, I do not think you should use it. Please, you just listen to me. Number 2, he does not look well. Bhala chana punni. I think he should go home now. He does not look well. I do not think he should go outside. He should work. Number 3, she is very intelligent. So she is very intelligent. Number 3, you just see. Go to university. I think he should go to university. So she is very intelligent. I think she is very intelligent. I think she should go to university. Number 4, you see, phone them now. They need a change. I think they should phone or we should phone them now. I think I should phone them now. Number 5, you are not very well. Have a holiday. I think you are not very well. I think you should have a holiday. they are too young. Last one, right? I think they should not get married. ସେମାନେ ଛୋଟ ପିଲା ହେଇଛନ୍ତି, they should not get married, right? So my dear children, let's do activity 4 so that you can understand better. Choose the correct form. Do you like or would you like a banana? No, thank you. Do you like? Would you like bananas? Yes, I love them. What do you like? You like to drink water, please. I like or I would like ice cream, but I do not eat very often. I am tired. I like or I would like to go to sleep. Do you like or would you like something to eat? No, thanks, I am hungry. So let's see the correct forms which are to be used for this. So the red colored sentences, they are the correct answer. You see, number 1, would you like a banana? No, thank you. So someone is offering and someone says no, thank you. Do you like? General idea, do you like? And he says no, yes, I love them, right? Number 3, would you like to drink? So when we use would, we use to request or to offer something, right? Would you like to drink means to offer something. Water, please. I would like ice cream, but I do not eat very often, right? I like ice cream, but I do not eat very often. I am tired, I like, but the correct answer is I would like to go to sleep. Would you like something to eat? No, thanks, I am not hungry. So my dear children, when we offer something, when we request for something, usually we use the modal would, right? So my dear children, what we discussed in this session today, we discussed use of modal auxiliaries. In the first session, we discussed the difference between primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries, and today we discussed the use of the modals like shall, will, should, ought to, would and used to. I think you have understood all these things. Please do all the exercises which have been given in your textbook and you can understand better. Thank you very much. Goodbye.